Alright, ladies and gents, we're gonna give these drivers just a little bit more time to come in and get everything sorted. To just bear right with us. And I just gotta add where is it? Gotta add some thumbnails. We forgot to apply the Hungaroring thumbnail. There we go. So guys, I actually almost missed this freaking race today. I was asleep. And save. There we go. There we go. Almost ready. Give us a quick second. Give us a quick second. Just gonna get my notes. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay. I believe I got everything sorted. And I think this is where we're going to kick things off. I forgot to actually add it into the comms, so we put it in the stream room. All right. There we go. Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, let's kick things right off. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday everybody. Welcome back to SRM ESPORTS as we are here for Season 4, Round 15 of the Netherlands Grand Prix. I am your commentator, JusGamin, and we're actually going to be by ourselves here today. No Charlie today, no James, as he is out on the track. Been doing pretty well, I gotta say. For him, he's doing pretty well in the championship. Got a lot of good races, but let's actually see what the standings are. And it looks like they forgot to add in the Hungaroring setup. So what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna get a quick flashback to last week. If you guys do not remember, we were at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 14 of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And let's actually get a quick rundown of the results at the end of the race, actually, for you guys back at home. So it was an amazing race that we witnessed in the wet weather at Hungary as the rain poured down. A lot of the drivers were struggling out there on the track. However, coming home with the fastest lap, pole position, and the race win was F1 Farth, who was an absolute king in the rain, as he was faster by anybody for a long time. Take the race win by over 8 seconds. Michael F1 crossed the line himself as well in second, with RSI Markey finishing off the podium in third. Top runners from the top three. Then we have Richard in the Mercedes finishing in P4, and then we had our driver of the day, Stead 6, who started in sixth, fell back a little bit with some of the incidents during the race. Worked back up the grid after safety cars and finished off in P5. Then we had Harry, also known as Hazza, finishing at P6, with Andy Smokesman at P7. Finishing off the top 10 is going to be Grimmy, Highlander, as well as Louis. Steve did finish the race, but finished in P11. And then the DNFers, looks like it was Mogi, Kittle, Tomo Tip Top, waiting for the rest of the standings to show, and they didn't show. So that's that were the results of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and now we're gonna be kicking things off here for Zandvoort. And just to give you guys a brief description about where we are. So well, first things first, if you guys are interested in going to Netherlands and you're interested in watching the race, it will happen between the weekend of September 2nd to September 4th. As September 2nd, practice 1 and 2, September 3, practice 3 and qualifying, and September 4th will be the race start. But just to get you guys a little bit of a brief sum up of the track, we have 14 corners make up Circuit Zandvoort here for the Heineken Dutch Grand Prix 2022, presented by SRM ESPORTS, where the first ever Grand Prix at the track was actually back in 1952, so a very, very historic track in it. And another fun fact, actually, so just like Silverstone, Zandvoort was first opened in 1948, part of the wave of post-war motorsport enthusiasm that swept across Europe, originally made up of a mixture of permanent track and public roads that snaked through the sand dunes of the Zandvoort resort town, where the Dutch Automobile Racing Club, who initiated the plans for the circuit, brought in 1927 Le Mans winner Sammy Davis to consult on the layout for the original 4.2 kilometer track. And the first ever Grand Prix here, Formula Wives actually arrived at the Dutch Dunes back in 1952, with Alberto Ascari dominating the race as he led home a 1-2-3 for the Ferrari, where Formula One would go on to race on and off the track until 1985. But then in 2019, the announcement came that the championship would return to Zandvoort for 2020 after a 35-year hiatus, where the COVID-19 pandemic meant that became 36 and a 2021 date as well. But as the drivers are going to be getting things ready, I think my wheel is disconnected. Give me a quick second. Okay, there we go. That was a bit of a weird segue, but we're gonna go off with the standings that we have for the time being. So as of after round 13, where we were at the Suzuka circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix, Michael F1 leads the way with 253 points, with RSI Markey in second with 213. Then we have Dundries in third with 184 points. F1 Farth in fourth with 176. I do believe he now has surpassed Dundries and moved up into P3 in the standings. And then we also have Battle Z Mini, who had the unfortunate leave due to suspicion of cheating. for the championship positions. Then we have Grimmy in 6th with 162 points. Dopey Lemons in 7th with 148. Richard in 8th with 101. And Steve in 9th with 95. Steve really struggled back at the Hungaroring. I gotta remind you guys. He really struggled there, as he's already out in qualifying here. As you can see, the Mercedes crashed out around turn 4, and that's going to be a beautiful segue for us to actually describe about the most difficult parts of this track. And we're actually going to go on with Dundrees, who's finishing his outlap now, and we're going to get a quick summary of the track. So as you come around turn 14, you pass the finish line to the sweeping right-hander of turn 1. Try to get on the throttle right on the exit to carry that momentum down to turn 2, and now up towards turn 3 here. This tight banking left-hander where it's very easy to get the oversteer as you line up towards turn 4, where we did see Steve take the early leave. Now towards turn 5, now 6, and then entering turn 7 of sector 2. To carry that momentum down. A lot of drivers a little bit hesitant on the throttle here as you make your way towards turn 8 and now 9 in sector 2, where it's very easy to get oversteer, very easy to spin the cars, as the sand dunes are not happy with the track being here, as they spread all of the they spread all of the sand, spread all of that dust onto the track. But now towards turn 11 and 12, Dundrees now enters sector 3 as he makes his way towards the penultimate corner of 13 and the final sweeping corner of 14, where it's very easy to oversteer on this exit as well, as you take the DRS, take the sprint down towards the timing line, as Dundrees sets the standard at 10.848 there. Angry Dutch Guy for him on the set of mediums going to the 111s, as well as Mogi on the set of softs. So a bit of a different strategy there for Angry Dutch Guy. Sorry, I just had to drink some water. Whew. But yeah, with Angry Dutch Guy as well on the set of mediums, he's gonna be on a good run here. Good pace actually so far for the man, as this track is very difficult to tame, very difficult track to get used to, and I can definitely tell you that. Wait, what's this? Oh, sorry guys, just got there we go. Just had some notifications. I gotta check my my stuff. Very busy man nowadays. I could definitely tell you that. But as the drivers make their way around, we're actually gonna. You know what? Wait, what's this? Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was for a sec. Holy crap. One thing I actually just remembered here, ladies and gentlemen. We actually, as Andy Smokes mid spins around turn 14, makes the invalidation, tries to rejoin as he is ghosted and struggling to get traction and get that car back on the track, especially on that slope. He's gonna have to do a 180 to get that car spun around, which he does do, but that's gonna really mess up his momentum and mess up his confidence there. But this track very difficult with a lot of people, me definitely included, as Richard also out there with one of the slowest times of a 1:44 here. So very surprising to see that, especially from Richard, who came off with a excellent P back at the Hungaroring. Looking to get into the podium this week. We're gonna have to wait and see if he's gonna be able to do that, as we have a yellow flag up in sector 2. Alfa Romeo of Slater, not too sure what that's all about. As the Ferrari of Grimmy moves out the way, we see out there, someone that just crossed the line is going to be AlphaTauri of Haza, who was able to improve on his time there, moves up to P7 on his set of mediums. So a good time right there for the man. Just gotta check something real quick, guys. Give me a quick second. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Alright. But another fun, actually, while these drivers make their way around the track, we're actually gonna go on board with Tomo Tip Top, as he's gonna be starting his lap. But I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more of a description here, where the track is really quick, pretty insane, crazy, and old school. Were the words dropped of F1 drivers when asked to describe the Zandvoort track, as you just saw Tomo Tip Top going a little bit too quick. And was pretty insane for him on his lap as he spins around turn 13. Good thing he's only on an out lap, so he can still continue on with this lap here. But back to saying, those were the words from F1 drivers to describe the Zandvoort track that many of them tackled in their junior category days as well, where they'd also add undulating to the list as well, where the Zandvoort track swoops and flows through the sand dunes, creating a roller coaster like feel to the lap. And while the circuit was modernized in time of F1's recent return in 2021, including increasing the banking angle at the famous Tarzan corner to an Indianapolis Motor Speedway trumping 18 degrees, Zandvoort remaining a proper challenging driver's track, as this track is going to be very, very difficult for a lot of drivers back at home and for all these drivers out on the track now. Hi Charlie, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Justin, do you realize the flag in the thumbnail is upside down, right? Yeah, okay, so I knew there was something wrong. I knew there was something wrong with that. Cause I saw this, right? I saw this, and I got confused by the flag. Like, I thought the flag, in my opinion, looked like the French flag. Like, it did not look like the Dutch Grand Prix. And I was like, it's the blue, white, and red. And I just woke up. I'll tell you that right now. I just woke up like about half an hour ago. So I just got this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna add this real quick. But yeah, now thinking about it, now that you said it, I knew there was something wrong with the flag. And we have Angry Dutch Guy in the chat. How come he never noticed it? Angry Dutch Guy, Albert, you're Dutch. How do you not know that the flag's upside down? See, that's why it has some sort of confusion. Now it all makes sense. But we're now going to go on board with Dundries, who unfortunately had a very slow lap on that one. As he's going to shoot back into the pit lane. Mogi's having a little bit of a trip down to the beach as he collects a lot of sand and gravel. No, it's just mainly sand here in the sand dunes of Zandvoort. So a lot of drivers experimenting with the off-road capabilities of the F1 cars, and I think we're going to be seeing that time and time again. Michael F1 currently on a set of mediums. Looks like his previous lap wasn't too good, so let's see how he does here. And I'm actually, you know what, I'm actually going to say that right now to the people. Is Michael F1 actually spins as well. So a lot of drivers struggling here, and he has lost his end plate, Michael F1, as he struggles on the track. I just need to get this. Let me just say this, that the flag in the thumbnail is upside down. Yeah, thank you for that, Charlie. I was so confused for a sec there. I do come against, but unfortunately can't. This doesn't look good for your new job, LOL, says Charlie. Yeah, that's fair. Again, guys, I actually have a bit of announcement. It's currently in the talks, but Charlie actually did come up with it, so I gotta announce it. So basically, I had an interview a few days ago. Well, yesterday, and it turns out pretty well. But if I get the job, which so far it looks very promising because they do like me so far, so I could get the job. The only thing is that if I get this job, you will not be able to see me in commentary at all. Like, I won't be able to do any comms. No, you're right, Charlie. I just woke up, so I actually had these in my notes, but I just haven't announced it yet. And I actually misplaced my notes, but yeah, you're right, Charlie. But yeah, it's just that whole thing where might have to throw in the towel, hang up the microphone, if you know what I mean. But let's see now. So the one thing about this truck that actually makes it pretty unique, other than the other, what's it called? The other things that I did. Alright, don't worry, I can replace you. No worries, Charlie. Oh, I'm sure they'll definitely keep that in mind. We're actually gonna go on board with Tomo Tiptop, who's trying to replicate the success of his teammate of Dundrees, who is still in provisional pole with a 110.8, and he's been holding on to that provisional pole position for the longest time here. So let's see if they can make it a McLaren 1-2 as Tomo makes his way now around the sweeping right-hander, sprints towards the timing line. But he moves into the top 10, P9, with a 111.9 there, close to the 112s as he makes his way through on the set of softs. Let's actually see what tires the drivers set their times out on. So far, Dundrees does have provisional pole, and Arsai Marquis has the longer stint on his set of mediums. Where Angry Dutch Guy now makes his way through in his home Grand Prix with the set of softs, goes with a 110.686 for Angry Dutch Guy there as he shoots up the timing charts and has provisional pole. 5 minutes to see who will be crowned the lead of the waiting on a few drivers to put in their times. F1 Farth, Louis, as well as Michael F1 gonna be putting in those times there. Dundrees, we're actually gonna stay on board with Dundrees here as he's currently with a purple sector 1 up a 10th coming into sector 2, so this could be a pretty good lap time here for Dundrees. He's gonna be looking to take back that pole position that was rightfully his until taken away by Angry Dutch Guy. Now coming around turn 10 down the straight as he is now improving by half a tenth. He needs to bang out this final sector absolutely perfectly to get back into pole position. Let's see if he's going to be the one to hold on to it as he makes his way now penultimate corner of 13, final corner of 14 as he takes the sprint down the finishing straight, as he is going to clock in a 110.619 as he retakes pole position, found a whole tenth and a half and a bit more in that final sector as he makes his way up. Now Arsai Marquis currently out on the set of softs, was out on the set of mediums, and looks like he's going to be trying to get into pole position on the set of softs. I'm not too sure if that's the right call, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. If I was in Marquis' position, I would say, you know what, I actually did a very good time on the set of mediums. I do believe that they are the fastest on the set of mediums at this track. So start on those set of mediums, and then when you go on the set of softs, you're going to have a lighter car, faster car as well. So it's going to be definitely beneficial for you. As we also see Stead move up into the second row in third with a 110.891 for that man. So a good time there for Stead. Previous race driver of the day, looking to get back-to-back good results here tonight. We're gonna have to wait and see for him, as there's an AlphaTauri spun off the track. He recently did finish his lap, as Haza has crashed out, as you can see right on the right side of the track. Oh, wrong thing, there we go. Right side of the track, he only clocks in a 112, currently in P14, so he'll be having free tire choices. And actually looking at this now, ladies and gentlemen, the rain is coming down. This is these drivers' last opportunity to put in a good time to move themselves up. We're going to stay on board with Michael F1 here, as he is taking the sprint down towards Sector 2, as he's entering in with a 124.8. He's fighting against those G-forces. Tomo Tiptop's straight, so he's going to be out as well in the last dying moments that we have left. Stead retires into the pit lane. F1 Farth also retires into the pit lane. A lot of drivers are finished off as we now see Michael F1 take the sprint down towards turn 11, up by 7/10, almost 8/10 practically. Makes his way through. Purple sector 2 actually for Michael F1, so this could be a very good time here as he now comes down towards the final 2 corners in the wet condition as well. Has he made himself known to the front runners once again? He's taken the sprint, but he only moves up to P15. So the wet weather did not really help him out there, as we actually have Polesgar Bo, who has retired out on the track here. Michael F1 will now be starting in P15 here, and that could be it for qualifying, as the rain is now a bit too much for these sets of slicks, as it is intermediate conditions now. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to round up qualifying here today. As for today, it's going to be Dundrees taking pole position, with Angry Dutch Guy in his home Grand Prix bringing home second and lining up in the front row for the time being. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it qualifying. So we're going to be taking a quick break here, ladies and gentlemen, as Angry Dutch Guy now comes home in the pit lane for a second place finish in qualifying. Michael F1 with a very unfortunate 15th position, as the rain is about to start to stop, as the DRS, I don't know if it said the DRS was enabled, DRS was disabled there. Let me just check, because the rain is coming down quite heavy. So I think it said DRS disabled. We'll just have to check real quick. Yeah, DRS disabled. And now Michael F1 taking his sweet time to get back, being careful in these wet conditions. And that's going to round up qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Dundrees lines up on the front row with Angry Dutch Guy in his home Grand Prix. Then we have Stead and RSI Markey lining up in that second row. Markey starting on the set of mediums if it's not a wet race start. Then we have Dopey Lemons and Mogi in P5 and 6. Then we have F1 Farth, Richard, and Grimmy from 7th to 9th on the set of mediums, and then Highlander finishing off the top 10 on the set of softs. The free tire choice runners are going to be Tomo Tip Top, Andy Smokes Mid, Polesgar Bowl, Hazza, surprisingly Michael F1. Then we have Woolsey, Slater, Louis, and then Steve, who unfortunately could not clock in a better time. And Angry Dutch Guy with a little bit of a funny joke in the Discord, where I said where I told F1 Fart that the flag in the thumbnail is upside down. He then replies saying that Farth is upside down, like his mind is a little bit messed up. So good banter all over the field, but now that's gonna round up qualifying, and we're gonna be back on the race start. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually gonna take a quick bathroom break, so I'm gonna be right back. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again in the dry conditions here at Zandvoort for round 15 of the season. I only have a few more races left in the season here, ladies and gentlemen, as after this we actually have 3 more races. Excuse me. We have a race next week, which they say Mexico but have the Saudi Arabian flag, so I think that's the Mexican Grand Prix, as we already had Saudi Arabia. Then will be the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at Baku on the 22nd of June, and then on release date of the new game of F1 22 will be the Austrian Grand Prix on the 29th of June. I believe that is the release date. I'll have to quickly check. The initial release date of F1 22 is actually June 28th, so this will be a day after the new game will be released. So, if you guys are interested and you do see yourself coming back from time to time, please hit that subscribe button, as we are now up to 33 subscribers. Just trying to get our numbers up, and hit that like button, as this is going to be an extraordinary race, an extraordinary last-ditch effort to the season. Everyone else on the set of soft and mediums, except for 2 drivers of Steve and Woolsey near the back. On the set of hards, Marky leading the medium runners in P4, as he did an extraordinary time on his yellow compounds, as this could be a good result for the Red Bull here today. Red Bull drivers really love this track, of course, as what's it called? Max Verstappen, I do believe, got last season's race win here at the Dutch Grand Prix, making it one of the only people. Only Dutch drivers to actually win at their home Grand Prix. But now, with everyone lined up, ladies and gentlemen, we are set and ready to go. 5 red lights now start us off as we wait for the drivers to line up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights to kick things off. And away we go, lights are out, and we are out at it again here at the Zandvoort Grand Prix. We're an amazing start from there from Angry Dutch Guy, as he's looking to lead his home Grand Prix, as we now go sometimes 3 wide, maybe even 2 wide into these corners. Dundry still hold on to the lead. So far, an amazing start for all of these drivers. Stead actually taking a little bit of a wider line there. He's going to carry a lot more momentum, as he's now going to be eyeing down Angry Dutch Guy in second. Doesn't look like he's going to have it here, as we now see some of the Ferrari boys having themselves some issues. Grimmy is actually really struggling to keep the pace here, as he's now going to be holding off Michael F1, who has had a pretty good start. Steve as well has had an amazing start here, but Louis currently in 19th, behind Posga Ball by quite some distance now, so he's got a lot of stuff to catch up on, and that's going to be James, who has spun off around turn 10. Not a good start here for James in the Williams tonight, as he now slots into P18, but now back up to the front of the grid. Dundries will be ending lap 1, leading the race of Angry Dutch Guy in second. Then we have Stead 6th and 3rd, Mogi in 4th, with RSI Markey in 5th. The both Aston Martins of Dopey Lemons and F1 Farth line up right behind them, with Richard in 8th. Steve as well has a very slippery exit through turn 14. Same goes with Haas. I'm not too sure if they had a collision there, but they both now slot down for P17 and 18, as Louis is going to go into the pit lane, the first pit stop today. And looks like Stead is really giving Angry Dutch Guy a run for his money in P2. Stead, the previous race, driver of the day, had an amazing race at the Hungaroring. Now see themselves near the same sort of difficulty of track, maybe a little bit more difficult track, as Stead is now in P3. And he's not really lining up on those apexes. He's going to really lose him quite a few tenths now, as this track starts to get a little bit more spread out. But so far, it's been an amazing race. Woolsey and James actually going side to side here. Woolsey on his set of hards doesn't really look like he's going to be able to defend against the new softs of James. We also see Andy Smoke Smith and Michael trying to pull the switchback up towards turn 14. And there you have it. Michael F1 pulled the switchback on one of the most difficult parts of the track, as Tom has spun off the track around turn 14, and that's going to be him done. Andy Smokes mid as well is now under pressure from Grimmy right behind him in P11. So this battle for P9 is going to be very close here. Currently in a Ferrari sandwich, and that is not where you want to see yourself in this race. We also now see Woolsey making his way back past James after he had a little bit of a slip, loses his end plate, and he will now be taking an early leave. F1 Farth is out of this race here, ladies and gentlemen, as the VSC now comes out. And the Aston Martin F1 Farth is out of this race. Race winner, pole sitter, and fastest lap holder of the Hungaroring last week will now be finishing in P19 due to a catastrophic crash around turn 8, and that is very unfortunate for him. Sorry, turn 7. But now this is going to give those soft runners a bit of a leeway. It's going to keep those temperatures down, keep the wear down as well. As we are back to green lights, the DRS been enabled now, and Louis has actually gotten himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car conditions. So Louis has his race gone from bad to worse here tonight. But Dundry is holding on to that lead with an exceptional pace here. Very consistent here at Zandvoort. He has really done his homework. Love to see that from the man. Love to see it. Sorry about that. Just had to refresh my my voice box a little bit. But let's see, there's quite a few people struggling to get some positions here as they make their way around the circuit. Driver is very close. You actually see quite a bit of a DRS train from first all the way down to Dopey Lemons and P6. So this could be a good chance for some overtakes here. Ested is just barely staying within DRS distance, so Angry Dutch Guy could start pulling away from him, and we could see that gap start to disperse itself as Angry Dutch Guy gets himself the fastest lap of 113.435. Sorry. Wait, no, he got a 486, and then Michael F1 takes it with a 435. So far, an amazing start for Michael F1. Started in P15, currently up to P7, as his race has been absolutely extraordinary for the start. And he has a long way to go, but so far, he's doing very well. Really shows why he's on the top of the driver's chair. And of course, I'm finishing in second with Markey finishing in third, the main two competitors of the Drivers' Championship. Today could actually be the decider of the Drivers' Championship. We're going to have to wait and see on that. But let's see this now, actually, as these drivers make their way through. We have a spin up the field, and it's going to be the Highlander James still struggling to find the grip and find the pace here, as he is on his second lap after his pit stop, and really struggling to find the pace. Louis as well, exiting out of the pit lane, will be lapped by the front runners now as they make their way through. And Stead now right on the tail end of Angry Dutch Guy, coming up towards turn 2 and 3 here. Oh, instead, with a little bit of a slip, was able to save himself from going into the wall, but that has ruined his opportunity to catch up with Angry Dutch Guy and get a move done, as he's now going to slot into P6. Now we're seeing RSI Markey on his set of mediums keeping some extraordinary pace, as Louis has spun around once again on the pit exit. So a lot of drivers struggling here at Zandvoort as they come across. Right now we're seeing RSI Markey battling out with Mogi here, as he is taking his sprint right behind him up towards turn 11. We could be seeing an overtake here from RSI Markey. This will be perfect for the Red Bull team, and for the Constructors Championship as well, as I'm trying to find the Constructors Championship standings, which they don't have, and we only have until round 11 of China. So I can't really give you guys an update on that right now, so I do apologize. And ladies and gents, the fix of the flag has been made. Let's see, we'll call it that. Yep, we're gonna replace that. We're now gonna do this. Google Chrome. Sorry guys, just give me a quick second. I gotta update the thumbnail now. As we now have Hazlitt, who has crashed out around turn 2. Is that gonna bring out any safety car, virtual safety car? Does not look like it. We're still just a yellow flag, and we're gonna continue onward racing here tonight as we make the way through. And we did actually witness Markey making his way past Mogi now, so now it's a Red Bull 2-3 for the time being. So an amazing race so far for these guys, doing an exceptional job. Okay, change to that. There we go. And if someone can quickly confirm for me that the thumbnail is changed, as a truck is passing by my house, I believe. It should be the trash truck actually today. So if someone can quickly let me know that if they see the change in the thumbnail, which it should have happened. As Harry actually makes the leave and will be taking an early lead from the race. Angry Dutch Guy is actually struggling to keep up with Dundrees now, as those sub-runners are really going to struggle, as we now have both of the Mercedes out of this race here. So we're going to go on board with Polesga Bolt to see the damage, and you can actually see right on the track there of turn 6 and 7. And now, oh wait, no, Steve is still in this. Sorry, he just had a little bit of a spin. I thought he was out of this race. My bad. But yeah, he's back. A little bit of a hiccup there for Steve, as he now is going to pass by his teammate, who has had a catastrophic crash here. But we're now seeing Angry Dutch Guy struggle to get DRS. He is now out of the DRS distance of Dundrees. So now we could be seeing a strategy change here, as Angry Dutch Guy now goes into the pit lane on his old set of softs. And you can actually see the pit crew quickly getting back into action as he switches to a set of mediums. I think that was a little bit of a late call to get that pit crew ready, but was able to manage, as he is now making his way on the exit. Will be just ahead of Polesga Bowl, and he's looking to get a sort of undercut off of Dundrees. We're going to have to see what the strategy here for Dundrees is, as Stead has the same hiccup there around turn 3, and Michael F1 now up to P5. So let's see what Dundrees' plan here. He sees that Angry Dutch Guy just got into the pit lane on a new set of mediums. RSI Markey currently leading the medium runners in second. He'll be leading the race once Dundrees and the rest of the soft runners enter the pit lane. So let's see what the strategy call is here for Dundrees. Is he going to stay out and try and make it a one-stop, or is he going to go in and potentially make it a two-stop here tonight? We're going to have to see what his plan is here as he comes around the final corner. Maybe going on a longer stint on those set of softs, as they don't look really that much damaged. And I think that's the call here. He's going to go out, maybe do a one-stop race, and his softs, he's been nursing those set of softs for quite nicely, actually, I got to say. His softs right now actually look pretty nicely compared to some of the competitors around him. Mogi with a little bit more deterioration. Same goes with Dopey Lemons. But if you look at Dundrees, it just looks pretty clean. Like, his tires actually, he handles his tire wear pretty nicely for the McLarens. So that's really going to help him out getting those longer stints. And I think the thumbnail has just been fixed now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to quickly check. Yes, they have. They are completely fixed. Oh, man. So let's see this now. We currently have a battle for third with Dopey Lemons and Mogi. And Mogi will be having the DRS down the finishing straight, so we could be seeing him make the move then. But I don't know. It's going to be tough for him. It's going to be very tough. So we're gonna have to wait and see what the call is here. Angry Dutch Guy is catching up to the pack. His new set of mediums are going faster and faster lap after lap, as we now see Mogi slide onto the inside with the DRS, and he's gonna be getting the overtake into turn 1. Dopey Lemons couldn't do anything about that one. And there you go, that just solidifies it right there. Angry Dutch Guy with the new fastest lap of 113.345 as he makes his way around the circuit. An amazing lap time there for Angry Dutch Guy, as he has had a pretty good race here today, gotta say. Of course, representing his home Grand Prix, all the pressure on him. He's really going to make the best out of it, as we do see Dundrees has spun off around turn 9 and 10. And now Arthur Markey leads the race as he now slots into P6, Dundrees. And that just shows that even the best and the top run players will struggle at a difficult track like this. We saw Richard, we saw F1 Farth having mistakes as them two are out of the race. Harry as well. We now also see Dundrees have himself a little bit of a spin. And now Mogi entering the pit lane as Dopey Lemons has had the DRS. So now I think Mogi is doing the right call here, trying to get the overcut now, as both Mogi and Dundrees goes into the pit lane. Angry Dutch Guy will be now slotting in ahead, as the undercut has worked for Angry Dutch Guy, as he is right on the tail end of Andy Smokes Mid, who's having a little bit of a glitch fest around turn 1, but Angry Dutch Guy is able to manage and slot into P6. Oh, Andy Smokes Mid with a little bit of a later braking zone there. Not too sure what's happening to him, his connectivity. He's entering the matrix from what it looks like. As you can see, seriously, I'm gonna have to check those connectivity issues for Andy Smokes Mid. But Angry Dutch Guy, what a race he's had. I know that we have like a lot of conflict, but gotta say, he's been having an amazing race. He's gonna be proud, and could be a contender for driver of the day. You never know. He's doing an exceptional job. But let's see where he is actually in the standings, Angry Dutch Guy. And he's actually currently in 10th, so this will be very, very good points for the Red Bull team, as they're going to be battling out for the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Ferrari's still leading the way by a huge sum now, actually. But we're still waiting on the update on all of that. We're now going to go back up with RSI Markey, actually, to see how he's doing in the lead right now. And it looks like he's doing pretty well. We have a yellow flag due to Andy Smokes Mid. I think it was Andy Smokes Mid that we have that yellow flag for. Not too sure what's happening over there. But we're now coming down towards the end of the first third of the race. A lot of the drivers entering the pit lane now for their respective set of tires. The ones that made the pit stop, Angry Dutch Guy leading the pit stop runners, with Mogi, Dundrees, Andy Smokes Mid. We've also seen Tomo, Woolsey, Highlander making his second pit stop, and Louis his first pit stop on the first lap due to I believe a front wing damage. So we're still trying to check up on that. But RSI Market, with his old set of mediums, he is doing an exceptional job, as Highlander is now out of this race, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to be the first safety car of the night. Highlander James crashes out on turn 9 right before turn 10 in sector 2. And is now out of this race, and this is exactly what these drivers have been waiting on. Grimmy, Stead, and Angry Dutch Guy going into the pit lane for their stop. Going to be utilizing this pit stop to max potential. Mogi staying out on his set of hards. We also see Dundrees is able to make his way back past Angry Dutch Guy, and he's going to slot in right behind Stead now. So could be a resurgence here from those guys. We're also seeing Dopey Lemons, RSI Markey, as well as Michael F1 making their way through. And Highlander in the chat, I can see the microphone on the bottom left as he is talking about the incident that happened with him there. We're gonna have to ask him later on. But yeah, very unfortunate crash there for James. My usual code comms out on the track. And it's just unfortunate there, you gotta say, it's just unfortunate. But now this is going to be perfect news for these front runners. Now RSI Markey is going to go into the pit lane, potentially switch to a set of hards to end this race. We also could be seeing Dopey Lemon switch to a set of mediums, maybe Michael as well, as they make their way through. Let's actually see what tires they go on. And yep, RSI Markey on the set of hards. Dopey Lemons and Michael F1 will be switching to a set of mediums to try and end the race on these. So let's see what these drivers will do now. Just saw a message in the chat. I'll join. Invite me, com man. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Gonna take a little bit of time. Give me a sec. Sure, it's taking a while. This is why you gotta love PS4s. Okay, where is he? Where is he? There we go. Alright, there we are. So, a lot of the drivers making their way into the pit lane. Steve actually staying out on his old set of hards now, on the tires that he actually started on. So, it's going to be a bit different there. We also see Louis on his set of mediums that he came out near the first couple of laps for his pit stop. But now with James crashing out, making it the safety car, RSI Markey leads the way on a set of hards, and we can actually hear from the man himself. James, how you doing?
It would have been better if that hadn't taken my wheel off, but yeah, we'll move.
Yeah, this track very difficult, would you say?
Not too bad. I just made stupid errors like the curbs.
Oh yeah, the curbs on this track can really mess you up, as they have like such a height. Like these curbs actually have quite a bit of height on them. They're not like flat like the French Grand Prix, like some parts of the French Grand Prix, I should say. But
yeah, a lot of drivers getting used to the no traction as well. That didn't help me.
No. Yeah, of course. So we're trying to transition to a no traction finish to the season, as I believe we're trying to do that for the next season. I'll have to check in with Steve to see what they think about that.
Next season is no traction control.
Next season, yeah?
Yeah, next season no traction control.
So we're gonna have to see what those drivers do in the new F1 cars. Are you excited for it? Because what we've been told is that it's gonna be even more difficult to try and hold on to those cars.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one, to be honest. That's gonna be I'm thinking a lot of drivers are gonna go to high downforce to keep the cars.
Well, of course, the only people that have had access to the game, of course, is going to be the popular content creators, esports championship drivers, even some of the esports drivers that just compete. But yeah, one thing that I have actually witnessed though is that one person that has actually had a good race from the beginning, but this safety car really messed them up. Angry Dutch Guy. He's actually had a pretty good race. He was actually battling up with Dundrees at the beginning. Dundrees unfortunately had the spin, and Dutch Guy was actually leading the Grand Prix, like provisionally, as he made the pit stop. But now talking about the safety car is going to come in this lap, and I'm actually going to leave it with you, James, for the safety car restart. Lap 17.
Oh, you spoil me.
Oh, you know I always do, mate.
Okay, so what we got? Markey and Hards. You don't need to put up a hell of a good fight to keep off those two medium runners, Dopey and Michael. We'll have to see when he goes.
And of course, Michael and Markey battling out for the drivers' championship as well.
He's caught Dopey out. He's gone early and caught Dopey. Michael's going around the outside.
Oh, and there's a spin of Mogi! Mogi has spun around as he crashes into the wall. Dundrees has also crashed!
Oh!
Wow! And Michael F1 now battling out with Dopey Lemons into turn 1. And who else is in there? There's also Grimmy!
Grimmy, yeah. Grimmy got caught out there.
Oh,
Grimmy,
wow.
Dundrees, and Mogi all got caught out in that corner.
So it looks like they didn't really warm up their tires. Dopey Lemons unfortunately got caught with his pants down. Markey's utilizing that restart to absolute perfection.
First,
But
second, and third all have a nice gap here.
yeah, they have actually a pretty good gap. The closest gap that we actually see right now is actually going to be Tomo Tip Top as well as Wozy for P9. Wozy currently on 8-lap-old set of softs. Tomo with a new set of mediums practically. So I think Tomo would definitely help out with that. Those softs don't really last that long here at Zandvoort, but
No,
but yeah,
this is a track that's not known for keeping your tires nice.
no, it is not. But
oh, you got Tomo going up the inside, looking on Woolsey.
we're trying to see that now. Wozy looks like he does hold on to it for the time being. Tomo's still in P10, but and there goes Slater. Is that Slater or is that Louis? That's Louis.
That's Louis. But here comes Tomo. Oh, Woolsey into the pits.
Well, I mean, he does have old set of softs,
so... and he's got a 5-second penalty for it.
Very unfortunate there for that one.
Nice little battle for 6th going on. Oh, is that...
Yeah, Andy Smokes Mid is having a little bit of a Matrix session out on the track.
I thought he went wide, but nope, he just popped right back into place there.
It's like he dislocated off at the racing light, but he just popped it right back into place.
Oh yeah.
But we're actually looking at Michael. Yeah, right. Oh, and Michael with a little bit of a spin took too much of the curb around turn 10, and he now is gonna fall down a little bit. Good thing I just caught that, but that's gonna help out Marky absolutely. That's gonna help him out a lot now, as them two are battling out for the drivers' championship. I think it could have potentially been decided here today, but now Michael down to P7. Marky now has a very comfortable lead, and Angry Dutch Guy now up to P3 because of it, and the DRS now being enabled. Dutch Guy now looking on the inside of Dopey Lemons as they squeeze through turn 1, and Angry Dutch Guy at his home Grand Prix now into P2. So far a Red Bull 1-2.
I was about to say Red Bull having an extremely good race this for their Dutch Grand Prix.
Doing an exceptional job here tonight as Andy Smokes Mid and Michael F1 having themselves a battle. I think if they battle out even closer here, I think Andy Smokes Mid might actually put my Matrix Michael out into the Shadow Realm. We're gonna have to see what happens between those two. But so far, at the safety car restart, Mogi does have the fastest lap now, 113.005, and surprisingly, he actually on a lap pace, he actually done faster than my qualifying pace here at this track. I absolutely despise this track, like with all of my might. I am so bad at it, so bad at this track.
You see, I quite like this track. It's not a bad track for me. I was just struggling today with a bit of no traction.
Yep, and look at Stead now with DRS, a little bit of ERS to help him out. Now into the podium positions. Stead, ever since joining the league, he has been on a roll. Finished in P6, I believe. No, finished in P5 at the Hungaroring with the driver of the day, having such a good recovery drive. Now today, started in P3, currently still in P3. He could be another contender for Drivers' Championship next season. You never know. Stead has been doing very well for SRM.
It all comes down to how the new cars are going to react to pads, and how they're going to react to wheels. It's going to be a mixed grid, I think, next season.
And at the start of the new game, and a lot of leagues are kicking off. Of course, this is actually the game that actually kicked off a lot of leagues, actually, like a lot of leagues around the world. And with that in mind as well, they're gonna be feeling like, oh, okay, we're in a new game. There's gonna be a new change. So basically, they're gonna be feeling what the drivers actually feel. They're gonna be feeling the regulation changes, but instead of what we would think of like an aerodynamic package that had to be applied to a car or things like that, is new mechanics, new control, new everything. So it's gonna come down. We might even see some of the low runners actually benefit on the newer cars, like we saw with the Haas team in real life.
Well, also the Codemasters F1 manager.
Yep, and has that actually been released already?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but I think no. I believe the trailer was not long announced, actually.
Okay. So it was a member we actually did video on manager, and I gotta say it looks pretty interesting. Like the looks of the cars look perfect. And it gets me excited for the new game as well. And I hope you guys back at home have done your pre-orders, as I did mine like a few days ago actually. So you can get yourself a little bit of extra content for when the game is fully released.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do a quick search here on F1 Manager.
But one person I am seeing catching up to Angry Dutch Guy, Stead6, has done very well in his set of mediums. We also see a close battle for P4 with Michael, Dopey, Andy Smokesmith, as well as Steve on his old set of hards. The tires that he actually started in the race, so he's still yet to make a pick, as he's a safety car potentially. These drivers look like in situations where the new game is coming out, they're going to be testing out different traction controls. It's difficult. I gotta say, it's difficult making that leap from using medium or traction control to absolutely no traction. Very difficult. Very, very difficult.
I'm not gonna lie, Justin, you are breaking up really badly for me right now.
No?
I think I can
How's
hear you
that?
better now. Yep, that sounds better now.
Okay, because I had I had it plugged in. I was charging it while I was speaking.
Ah, right, gotcha.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I normally sound like this, so there you go. But, but look at this now. Andy Smokesmith right on the tail of Dopey Lemons here. And you can actually see all of these drivers really struggling out here tonight. We actually seen a lot of drivers struggle in the track. We've actually seen turn 4, we've seen turn 3, we've also even seen sector 2, of course, with your incident and Dundry spinning around. Same goes with Michael, who actually spun around on the safety car restart. So from the lower names to the top names, everyone is struggling here at Zandvoort, and I think that makes it a very unique track, would you say?
Well, unique, yes, definitely was one word, but I'm also noticing, I noticed you say lower drivers and higher drivers struggling, but some of the lower drivers are actually showing some pace at this track. I mean, take Paul, for example, he's never usually in this top 10 spot.
And he's actually catching up to the top runner of Steve, actually. And Steve, of course, still yet to make his pit stop, so Paul's Got Ball will be able to make his way up now. We also see Stead and Angry Dutch Guys going side to side around turn 1. Angry Dutch Guy on the inside, but Stead has made the move up to P2. And Angry Dutch Guy is actually trying to get back in, trying to stick his nose into these corners, but he just can't find the space here, and he's now going to slot down to P3. But
yeah, and this lovely mid-pack battle going on for P5.
Yeah, you can actually see 4 drivers being involved in that DRS train. It was actually 5 drivers for Jesus Christ, 4 drivers battling out for P4, but instead it's now 4 drivers battling out for P5. Michael F1 was able to pull himself away from Andy Smokesmith, and now Paul's Got Ball has entered the frame now, as with these DRS zones. This DRS zone up towards turn 11 as Paul's Got Ball has spun around turn 10, but now be caught up with Tomo, Tip Top, and Slater. As you can see, really struggling to get back out on the track. The wheel spin and the oversteer very, very vulnerable for these drivers.
Yeah, that's the one thing. If you're running a no traction car, it is very hard to get these things going if you just want to belt it down this track.
Yep, and you can actually see now, look at Dopey Lemons right on the inside of Andy Smokesmith, and you actually got to command Andy as well as Steve now. Both of them on the set of hards. Steve on the set of hards that he started out the race with, and also Andy Smokesmith, who are on the set of hards, but also having a little bit of a matrix mesh out on the track. But you can still see that they're actually still keeping up with the medium runners. So it might be like the French Grand Prix, where the mediums and the softs pretty much have around the same pace. Even the hards actually feel pretty nice at the track. As Steve makes the dive bomb on Dopey Lemons there around turn 9. I believe they had a little bit of contact there, so that might go down with the stewards.
There was a little bit of side pod rubbing.
But Steve, what an overtake there. But I think it's going to be short-lived. Oh, Dopey Lemons locking up into turn 11. Was able to avoid Steve there. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup there on the curb, and he's just going to miss out on DRS. Oh, you just saw Steve. Yep.
Yeah, Steve just almost completely lost it there.
Boys, his hards are really struggling out there. He needs to make a pit stop, or else his race will be disqualified. He has to go on a set of softs to end this race. I think that's what his plan is to use those hards as much as possible and stay ahead. I think once he makes his pit stop, he'll be just behind Grimmy, I do believe. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that one.
I believe what Steve is doing is hoping for a safety car. Hoping for one more safety car to give him that free pit stop.
Well, let's see if that's going to help him out if it happens. So far, from what it looks like, all of these drivers have really gotten used to this track at this point now. So I don't think we'll be seeing much of any safety cars yet, as these drivers actually found their consistency now, and we might actually see the results kind of like this now as we start lap 27. 10 laps left to go here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, but Angry Dutch Guy's still within that DRS of Stead, and Stead not managing to pull away any.
No, so they're both pretty much in a deadlock at this point. Both of them with low ERS, both of them with old set of mediums. Even Dutch Guy using 2 DRS zones to try and catch up to hop out with the with the dirty air out on the track. So
Steve and Dopey both came in for a pit stop, but Dopey getting a new wing.
Oh, I'm actually seeing that now. Yeah, so Steve finally made his pit stop. So
and Slater's in 5-second time penalty.
Oh, Slater. That is not going to be good for him. Grimmy is now going to move up into the top 10. Well, actually, he already was in the top 10, so now in P9. Polesgot Bowl could be making himself known back into the top 10 here, as he's going to find himself down towards turn 1. And I'm actually going to talk to you about this, James, actually. Driver of the day. So far, we've actually had quite a bit of great racing over the field. But of course, they said that that we will be giving it to the lower position drivers to give them a little bit of recognition. So I say to my 2 big competitors right now for driver of the day, I'm gonna say Poe's Got Ball and Angry Dutch Guy. And Angry Dutch Guy might surprise you guys, but Angry Dutch Guy is currently 10th in the Drivers' Championship after round 13 of Suzuka. So he isn't really up there battling out with the top runners. But today, he's actually had a pretty good race in his home Grand Prix as well. So he's gonna be representing his country nicely. Poe's Got Ball actually down in P19. Where could actually be one of his first points in quite a long time, actually. So he's doing pretty well for himself here. I'm actually on the fence about who to give it to.
Tomo just came in for his pit and has dropped down to P9. Oh, Tomo 5 seconds.
Yeah, crossing the pit lane exit on the white line, so now that's gonna mess up his race a little bit. And talking about the time penalties, let's actually go through them now, actually. So a lot of the drivers actually having a clean race. 4 drivers currently with a time penalty. Tomo and Slater with 5 seconds due to Slater actually speeding into the pit lane. Tomo actually not respecting the white line on the exit of the pit lane. Then we also see the 3 seconds from Postcott Ball and FRL Louis, who haven't really had the best race, struggled with the track limits as well. And actually, Louis did actually get a drive-through penalty during one of the safety cars earlier, so that really messed up his race even further there.
Absolutely. I was actually in a party with Louis when he got that drive-through. He was not a happy man.
You want to give us a quick reenactment about what he said?
Um,
Or would
let's
it
just
not
say
be
not
age
friendly.
restricted?
Not friendly.
Oh
Not a
man.
friendly chat, that one.
Well, he's still doing pretty well. He can actually say that he lasted longer than a lot of the top runners, which is something that he's actually struggled a little bit. We're gonna be honest. He struggled a little bit in the season. And there goes Angry Dutch Guy into the wall. Michael F1 will now make the overtake up to the podium position. Angry Dutch Guy doesn't look like he has any front wing damage after bouncing off the tire barriers. But that is not a good look for him there. That is not a good look.
You see, this is what annoys me. I literally tap the wall, my wheel popped straight off. He does that and he gets off with it.
Well, he's going into the pit lane. Looks like he did get front wing damage. You can actually see his pit crew rushing out into the pit lane. Angry Dutch Guy now on a set of softs. He could be trying to get the fastest lap now. Will be behind Steve once he makes his way down towards turn 1. And now with 7 laps left to go here, so far we're looking at Marky, Stead, as well as Michael F1 in the podium positions. Like, we could also give it to Stead, but I'm not thinking of actually giving someone back-to-back driver of the days nowadays. Oh, and look at Dopey Lemons. Oh, just slots ahead of Angry Dutch Guy on the pit exit.
I was on board with that. I seen Dopey coming in fast, and I was just thinking he could potentially pick Angry Dutch Guy off.
Yeah, I actually thought Dopey Lemons was actually going to be behind Angry Dutch Guy, but he was able to keep the pace down, keep his head down, and is able to make up the position. But you gotta say, all of these drivers are happy that when Dutch spun around, it was not a safety car, because that would have made Marky, Stead, Michael as well lose their huge lead. And in a track like this, where it's pretty easy to make a mistake, it could ruin a lot of people's pit strategies.
I'm not gonna lie, I think a safety car there would have really suited Michael.
Really?
He would have reeled in that top 2, and he knows that he is faster than the guys below him because he's made that gap between them.
Oh, and I'm actually looking at turn 1 now. Angry Dutch Guy just made the move on Dopey Lemons here. Dopey Lemons had a little bit of a inspection of the diffuser of the Red Bull up ahead. Of course, both Red Bull and Aston Martin used to be part of the same car, actually, as Aston Martin used to sponsor the Red Bull car. Now being one of the competitors and actually with the Mercedes engine, you can say a little bit of a backstab to the Red Bull team. But you gotta say, here tonight, the Red Bull drivers, an exceptional race here tonight. Well done to both of them, even with the mistakes. Still a good result so far.
Absolutely. And Inspector said, question mark?
Sorry, what?
A bit of an Inspector Seb there, is it?
Maybe.
Dopey Lemons?
maybe.
I hope he's in the Vettel car, I really do.
Imagine if he is. Let's see, so, let me just ask you this, do we have a race weekend actually this weekend?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Here, let me just check. So what's today, the 8th, so this weekend will be like the 10th or 11th?
Yes.
I think so. Yes, we have Baku this weekend. We have Baku.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to come out on top of that one?
I can never say with Baku. It's an interesting circuit. Very technical.
That's an understatement right there.
Anyone can come out on top on Baku. It doesn't matter if you have the fastest car on the grid.
Do you know who I'm actually going to say?
Go on.
I think it could be George Russell, you know. Like, we've seen Valtteri Bottas actually have a lot of good races, some crucial wins as well over the years. We've also seen the Mercedes actually getting quite a bit of wins, of course, except for last season where we saw Lewis Hamilton bottle his chances at Baku. And what some people would say ruin his chances of winning the Drivers' Championship, as he just needed points in that race. He just needed points. But got a little bit too greedy into turn 1. But I think George Russell might have a good chance. I think Carlos Sainz could definitely get a race win. It's just going to be difficult, I gotta say. I think it's going to be difficult for these drivers.
I'm looking at it. Michael seems to be pulling in instead.
He is actually. He's staying within the 1.2 second range. Could be getting into the DRS distance in a few seconds here. A little bit of a slippery exit. And do you think, like, we're seeing a lot of clouds here, and here in the sand dunes of Zandvoort, which doesn't really get that much rain, we could be experiencing rain. I mean, we did experience it at the end of qualifying, which is pretty surprising. But
I was really annoyed when that happened. I was hoping to get out for one last lap, set a 1:11.2, because that's roughly about my soft lap times around here.
Well, let's see now. 3 laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen, and we gotta start. And I gotta start talking about drivers today. Actually, of course, you raced in it, so we couldn't really. I mean, you can give a suggestion, but of course, you being the self-centered person you are, you would say, oh, you would give it to yourself because your safety car really changed everything in this race. I'm joking. Let's see.
Not this race. Maybe last race I would have considered myself, but that's about it.
I think right now, to be honest with you, right now I would actually say Paul Scott Bowl. Because he's in 19th in the Drivers' Championship. He's had a very tough season. He's also in the points, and he's actually had a pretty good race. We also could give it to Stead, but I don't really want to give people back-to-back driver of the days anymore. We could give it to Angry Dutch Guy, who is now on the tail end of Steve. So I just don't know, actually. I really don't know who exactly to give it to.
You see, if it was just if we were just to say pure out, I would honestly consider Markey leading the whole race.
Yeah, but of course we can't really give it to the top names. But to be honest with you, I actually would have given it to Markey because he's had a good race from start to finish. The safety car helped him out with his pit strategy. I could give it to Steve as well because he made those hard compounds last a long distance, and he's currently on a one-stop strategy as well. But I just don't know.
We're going to be looking at a battle for P2 soon. And Michael got in with that DRS.
And we're currently actually looking at a battle for P5 here between Angry Dutch Guy and Steve as well. So a few battles over the field to end off the race. But Markey will now cross the line to get the white flag waved. The final lap 36 of 36 here at Zandvoort, as he now comes around the circuit. Michael F1 now with the DRS. He's looking to try and get up into P2 to not close the gap that much. Now we're seeing Angry Dutch Guy have himself a little bit of a mistake. Dopey Lemons moves up to P6, and now Angry Dutch Guy down to P7.
And Michael's still on the back end of Stead.
Yep, you can actually see these two battling it out. Stead is really trying to hold on to P2. He wants to finish off the season in a good way, but with the Drivers' Championship, it's going to be difficult. Markey's going to really appreciate Stead right now if he's able to hold him off for P3. But now practically the final DRS straight that Michael can have to make a move here.
He's not going to be able to get one done here. He's going to have to get a brilliant... Oh...
But we're now going to go on board Markey here, James, as Markey has had an extraordinary race, led the race ever since the safety car restart. We now cross the line to take the win here at Zandvoort. It's a Red Bull taking the checker flag. Michael got the time penalty right at the end, but Stead still holds on to P2. Michael into P3. Now we see Andy Smokes mid crossing in P4.
Dopey Lemon and Steve.
He's looking for the move around the outside. Now on the inside of turn 11. And Steve just has a better line through that corner. Angry Dutch Guy, I think he might have had front wing damage. That's why he's going so slow now. And he does. He has lost his right end plate. So Steve will now cross the line in P5. Dopey Lemons just misses out of the top 5 in P6. Angry Dutch Guy with an extraordinary race started in P2, I want to say, if not P3. No, P2. Dundry started in pole position. Yeah, Angry Dutch Guy in P2, now down to P7. Very unfortunate for the man. He has had a good race. Grimmy, Tomo, Polesga Bo will be getting one of the first points that he's had in a long while, as Louis just ahead of him crosses the line in P13. But Markey, ladies and gentlemen, is your race winner here tonight. He closes the gap for the Drivers' Championship even closer, and now with 3 races left in the season after this one, is going to come down to the wire. Steve, with the Codemasters driver of today, starting in near last place and finishing off in the top 5. But I think we have to give the driver of I actually still don't know who to give it to. Like, it's between one of two. It's really between one of two. It's between Angry Dutch Guy and Polesga Bowl. I actually really don't know. You know what? Just to make him happy, today's driver of the day is going to go down to Angry Dutch Guy. Started in second. Got unfortunate with some of the mistakes on the track. He did come home with the fastest lap, so he's going to bag in that extra points at his home Grand Prix as well. Had an amazing start. That virtual safety car, and then the safety car really messed up his race, but his teammate coming out on top as well. He did the team roll very well. Very unfortunate with the mistake at the end as well, as he moves down to P7, but still a very good race. Clean race, no time penalties. Did an exceptional job. A big shout out to Polesga Ball as well, as for driver today was very, very close. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. And next week, we are either going to be at Saudi Arabia or Mexico, because they have the Mexican, they have Mexico and then the Saudi Arabian flag next to Mexico, and I'm having an aneurysm. Trying to understand which track is going to be at. But if you guys want to see next week's race, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, have the notification bell on. It'll be same time, same place next week for the third last race of the season before we make our way down to the final, well, not the final, but the to the new F1 game on June 28th, so mark it in your calendars. But until then, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, lots of love and stay safe, everybody.